Hello, lovely people. Welcome to Vap Fashion's YouTube channel. My name is Eunice. In this video, we'll be learning how to make a six pieces skirt, which is also known as six panels. And we're going to be making use of a lace fabric. So in this video, you're going to learn how to perfectly sew a six pieces skirt using lace fabric. If this is something you're interested in learning, make sure to keep on watching till the end. And if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please kindly click on the subscribe button to subscribe and ensure to put on your notification bell so you receive a notification every time I upload a new video. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. So without wasting much of your time, let's get right into the video. Thank you. So these are the materials we're going to be using for this project, and this is a lace fabric. And this is my doll face satin that we'll be using for the lining. And I'll be drafting directly on the lining, which is the doll face bridal satin. So these are the measurements we're going to be working with. Let me read them out. First is the waist measurement, which is 38 inches. The hip measurement, 50 inches. Skirt length is 42 inches. And then from waist to hip, you need the waist to hip measurement, and that's 10 inches. Waist to above the knee, that's like 3 inches above the knee, not exactly on the knee point. So waist to above the knee is 19 inches. So having gotten this measurement, another measurement we need is the nipple to nipple measurement, which is the bust pan. And the bust pan of my client is 9 inches. The bust pan is 9 inches, which is nipple to nipple. We're going to need this to determine our pieces, okay, for this six panel skirt. So first I'm going to go ahead and fold my fabric. And we're going to be drafting the center piece first. And to determine the amount of fabric to fold for the center piece of our six panel skirt, I'm going to be using this nipple to nipple measurement, and which is 9 inches. So the nipple to nipple divided by 2, that will give us 4.5. So 4.5 is our nipple to nipple divided by 2. So plus half inch, that's plus 0.5, that will give us 5 inches. Okay, so now to determine the sweep, that's the opening at the down of our skirt, whatever it is that is the nipple to nipple measurement, I'm going to multiply it by 2. So here already I have 5 inches, that's nipple to nipple plus 0.5 inches, that's 5 inches. So I'll multiply this 5 times 2, and that will give us 10 inches. So I'm going to fold 10 inches. I'll be placing 10 inches on fold for our center piece. So I'll fold it, and then I'll show us how to go about that. So as you can see, I've folded my fabric and I have 10 inches on fold. Okay, so now the first line I'm going to draw is the waistline. I'll draw the starting line here, and this is our starting line. So having drawn the waistline, the next measurement I'm going to enter is the hip line. But to enter the hip line, I'm going to subtract the band measurement from the waist to hip measurement. Remember, I mentioned that the waist to hip measurement of my client is 10 inches. And this is the band inclusive in this measurement. So the band is going to be 1.5 inches when we attach it to it. So here I'm going to be placing my tape from -1. I'm placing on -1 because I'm going to use half inch to join the skirt and the band together. So I'm leaving my half inch for my sewing allowance. Remember, I said that the band is going to be 1.5 inches when we attach it to the skirt. So here I'll place my tape on -1, not on -1.5. So I'm placing on -1, and then I'm going to mark the hip line, and the hip line is 10 inches. So here is our hip line, which is 10 inches. Next, I'll mark the knee line, which is 19 inches. This is 3 inches above the actual knee point because the mermaid effect will start from above the knee point. Please don't make it exactly on the knee point. If not, it will be very difficult for the person to move about. So here I have my 19 inches, which is the knee point. Next is going to be the full length of the skirt, which is 42 inches. So I'll mark here on 42 inches. So because I'm working with a lace fabric, I'm not going to be adding any hemming allowance to this because we're going to have the scallop part of our lace ending this skirt. So if you're working with an Ankara fabric, after entering this 42 inches, which is the length of the skirt, you go ahead and enter your hemming allowance of 2 inches. But in this case, I won't be doing that because I'm working with a lace fabric. So I'll go ahead and straighten out all my lines. And this is the full length of the skirt. Okay. So now that we have all our points, this is the waistline, the hip line, the knee line, and the full length. So here on the waistline, I'm going to enter the bust pan measurement. Take note that my fabric is on fold. So the nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, we already know that that's 4.5. So plus half inch, which is our stitching allowance, and that's 5 inches. So I'll mark 5 inches on the hip line here, on the waistline here, I beg your pardon. I'll mark the same 5 inches here on the hip line. And I'll bring down the same measurement here on the knee line. So having marked on the knee line, I'll go ahead and connect with my straight ruler. So here you can see, this is what I have. So now I'm going to connect this to the full length of the skirt. So remember I said that the sweep depends on the nipple to nipple measurement. So and that is 10 inches that I have here. So I'm just going to open up like this. So from the knee point, I'm opening up all the way to the hem of the skirt. So this is what our center piece looks like. So I'll bring in my scissors and cut out this piece. So now we have our center front piece. So the next thing we're going to do now is to fold our fabric so that we can get the center back piece. We're going to get the center back piece before we get the back pieces also. So now this is it. For this client, her zipper is going to be at the side of her skirt. It's not going to be at the center back. That's how she wants it. So I'm not going to be adding sewing allowance. I'm not going to be adding zip allowance to this center back. So I'm just going to place exactly what I have here and cut it out. But I'm going to show us how to add our zip allowance if you want to have your zipper at the center back. So like I said, I'm not going to have the zip allowance at the center back. This is because that's what my client wants. So in a situation where you want to have your zip allowance at the center back, all you need to do is to place your centerpiece over your fabric like this. Can you see that I'm leaving some space here? So this will be for your zipper allowance of 1.5 inches, and then you do your bump illusion and the others, but in this case we're not going to have that. So let me just show us before we proceed. So in a situation where you want to have your zip allowance at the back, you place your tape. You can remember that I said that the hip line of my client is 10 inches, so this is our 10 inches here, and this is our knee line here, and of course this is the full length of the skirt. So at this point where is the hip line, I'm going to mark 1.5 inches for our zip allowance. On the waistline here, I'll be marking just 1 inch. This is to eliminate any form of zipper bulge. Then here on the knee line, I'm going to mark half inch. Take note of what I said. On the waistline, I'll mark 1 inch. On the hip line, I'll mark 1.5 inches, which is my zip allowance. And then here on the knee line, I will mark half inch. And then I'll go ahead and connect this point. So when you connect it, you have something like this that will show that there's a butt there at the back. Can you see how it will look? But in this case, we want to have our zip at the back. So I'm just going to proceed and cut out exactly what I have. So there's no difference. I'm just going to be replicating exactly what I have. So I'll cut it out. Okay. So my center front and the center back. So the next thing we're going to do is to cut our side pieces. So I'll fold my fabric again so we can cut out the side piece. So but before we cut out the side piece, we need to do some calculations. Okay, so now the side piece, like I said, that whatever you have here, it's double that you're going to have here. Remember I said that the nipple to nipple measurement 5 times 2, that gave us 10 that we have here. So now for the side piece, this is what we're going to do. We already have some of our measurements here. Now this is it. The hip measurement that I'm working with is 50 inches. So when you divide 50 by 4, that will give us 12.5. So 12.5. We already have 4.5 here at the center. We already have 4.5 here at the center. So that means we are left with 8 inches. So we're going to say 12.5 minus 4, minus 4.5. And that will leave us with 8 inches. So we're looking for 8 inches for the hip measurement. So 8 plus my sewing allowance of 2.5 inches, because I need half inch to join the side to the center, and I need my 2 inches on this side. So 8 plus 2.5, that will give us 10.5. So now 10.5. So that means at the hem here, okay, at the hem here is going to be 10.5 times 2, which is going to be 21 inches. Because already you can see that this side we have 5 times 2, which is 10. When you open this up, you're going to have 20. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to fold 21 inches, which is the determinant of our fabric right now. So I'll fold 21 inches. So I haven't folded my fabric for the side piece. So the width I have here at the down part is up to 21 inches. Okay, so now I'm going to place the center piece. Take note of what I'm doing. I'm placing the centerpiece, making sure that the tip here. Now, this was how we cut out our centerpiece. We cut it out this way. Take note of what I'm doing. I'm turning this side. The side with the opening is facing the folded part. Please take note. The side with the opening is facing the folded part because these are the sides we are going to join together. So I'll place it this way, making sure that this tip, the tail end here, aligns with the folded part. And you see, you want to make sure that it is well balanced. Let it be straight. So you want to confirm so that it makes it easy for you. So I place my tape from here and I don't have up to that 10 inches. So I'll make sure that I arrange it well because when we folded our center piece, we folded 10 inches. So you can see that it is 10 inches wide. Okay, so now this is it. So this is it. I have my fabric placed over the side piece. So this one we're going to do. First, I'm going to confirm all the measurements. So first here, this is the waistline. So let's just straighten it out. I'll place my tape from -1 again and mark the hip line. Next is the knee line. I want to mark out all the points so that it's clear. And then next is the full length of the skirt, which is here. So now that we have done this, I'm going to first cut out this shape that I have here. Just cut out exactly what it is that is here. So that is why I said that whatever you have on this side is what you are replicating on the side of the skirt. That's the side that will be joined to the center piece. So I'm cutting out exactly the shape I have here. Can you see? So I replicated the shape. So now we'll go ahead and enter all our measurements. So this is the waistline. So the waist measurement divided by 4 is 9.5 inches. Here you can see that the next thing we're going to do is to enter all our horizontal measurements. And this is the waistline. The waist measurement we are working with is 38 inches. 38 divided by 4, that will give us 9.5. So for our center piece, we already have 4.5. Remember that the nipple to nipple is 4.5 minus our sewing allowance. So that's 4.5. So 9.5 minus 4.5. So that will leave us with 5 inches. So we're looking for 5 inches extra on the waistline. So 5 inches, I'll place my tape from this starting point here and we'll mark 5 inches. So this is where 5 inches ends. I need 2 inches for my sewing allowance. I'll mark 2 inches and I need ½ inch to join the center piece and the side piece together. So that's 2.5 in total. So I'll mark 2.5 here. So we'll come down to the hip line. The hip divided by 4 is 12.5. We still have 4.5 here as well. So I'm going to subtract 4.5 from 12.5. So that will leave us with 8 inches. Okay, so this is 8 inches. So placing my tape from here also from the starting point, this is my 8 inches. And then I'll add 2.5 inches like I did to the waistline. And now this is the knee line. Whatever you have on the hip line determines what you will have on the knee line. So I'm going to measure everything I have here in total. I have 10.5. I'll be subtracting 2 inches from this measurement and place it on the knee line. Why am I subtracting 2 inches? On a normal day, I usually subtract 1.5. But remember that I said that the center back will not have the zip allowance. So this is to contour the butt area so that it doesn't just look straight at the back since I didn't contour the center back. So I'm taking out 2 inches from this side so that it gives the fitting around the knee area and give the butt that butt rise. I hope you understand that. So instead of taking away 1.5 from what I have here on the hip line, I'm taking away a whole 2 inches. So 2 inches when that goes round, that's quarter. So that's 2 inches already out of the measurement. So it will give the butt that nice butt effect. So here I have 10.5. So I'm going to subtract 2 inches from it and that will leave me with 8.5. So this is my 8.5 here at this point. So I'll bring in my straight ruler and then connect the points. So I'm connecting from here to here and then from the hip to the waistline. And then here at the hem, I want to confirm my 21 inches. So I'll connect to this 21 inches that I have here. This is how wide the down part will be. So from the knee down to the hemline. So this is what our side piece looks like. You can see it is really simple. You want to make sure to blend up any sharp points. So I'm bringing my scissors again and cut it out. So this is what our two side pieces looks like. So we still need two more side pieces for the back. But before we go ahead and cut that out, I'll be showing us how to create that balance effect at the down part of our skirt so that you don't have this pointy look that we have here. So now this is it. You can see that this is our center piece here. And you see, this is our center piece. And this is the knee line. So I'm going to measure what I have from the knee to the hem. I have 23 inches at the, I'm sorry, I have 23.5 inches at the center here. So I'm going to confirm what I have here also at the side here. So at this side here, I just have a little more than 23.5 inches. I have 23 and 3 quarters. So I'll mark on 23.5. Can you see it's just a little? So I'll check what I have here too at the side here. So this is our knee line. Let me straighten out the line over the fabric. So at this point too, here you can see that this point I have 24 inches. So this part is longer than the other side. I have 24 inches, so I will need 23.5. So I'll mark 23.5 here also. So you can see here it's just quarter of an inch. So I'll bring in my curved ruler and then blend up this point. So this small sharpness I have here of half inch, I'll be taking it out. And this side that I have quarter of an inch, I'll be taking it out. You want to make sure that your skirt is balanced. So what do you use to determine that length? Use the middle so that it gives it that balance effect. So if you take your measurement from the knee point to the hem here for the middle, and let's say you get 24, and then you take the measurement at this side and you get 25, you're going to be taking out 1 inch. So that is just what you need to do. For me, I just have half of an inch, so I'll take out exactly what I have. Can you see? And then for this side, I'll repeat the same thing. So you can see that my skirt is no longer having that pointy look. So this is basically it. So I'll also place the middle piece, which is the center back, and replicate this shape. And then place these two side pieces on my fabric and cut out two more pieces because we're making 6 panels. So this is just for the front. We need the back also. So I'll do that and show us the next thing to do. Okay, so I've gone ahead to cut my lace fabric. And this is what we have. So I made the lace just some inches longer, about 1 inch longer. So now that I have folded the hem, can you see that I folded the hem of my satin? I folded half inch and then I folded again. So automatically that makes my lace 2 inches longer than the satin. That's it for all the other pieces. So I'm going to be using this front to show us how to achieve this because whatever we're doing in front, we are going to repeat the same thing at the back. So first I have folded the hem of my satin. So I'll take this to my sewing machine and then stitch it down. I used my iron to iron it so that it sits really well. So I'm just going to stitch it down. The next thing I'll do is to place the satin. Now this is my lace, take note of this, and we're working with a doll face satin. So we have the right side and the wrong side. So I'm going to place the wrong side of my satin facing the right side of the lace. Wrong side of the satin facing the right side of the lace. So remember I added a sewing allowance of half inch. But for now, I'll be stitching on quarter inch. I'll be stitching on quarter inch. This is because I have a second lining that we'll be using. We are using a lace fabric, so you need to line it the second time. And this lace I'm working with is lightweight lace. So if it is the thick one, I may just use just my satin, but this is light, so I'll be double lining it. So first I'm going to stitch on quarter inch here at this side, on quarter inch. And I'll repeat the same thing on this side as well. So for the center piece, I'm going to do the same thing. After hemming the down part, I'll place the satin. on the right side of my fabric, wrong side of the satin on the right side of the fabric, and then I'll stitch on quarter inch, really tiny. If you can stitch on less than quarter of an inch, that's fine. I'm stitching on quarter inch. This is because I want to achieve a French finishing. I won't be weaving this outfit. You can see it is sequence, so it's going to really break my needle. Okay, so I'm done stitching the satin to the lace fabric. These are side pins. You can see I stitched both sides. So this is what we have on the wrong side. You can see it's very neat. The same thing on this side. Of course, I placed it on the wrong side, on the right side of the lace. After stitching, I turned it now to the wrong side. So this is what we have at the back. So it is coming out very neat. I have it also here on this side. So now the next thing we're going to do is to stitch our lining. Remember I said we're going to have a second lining for the 6 pieces skirt. So this is the side piece of our lining, and this is the middle piece. This is it here, and this is the second side piece. Okay, so first I'm going to place, let's keep this side piece aside. First I'm going to turn the center piece to the wrong side, and then I'll place the lining of the center piece. So this is what we have. So for the lining, I already went ahead to trim out the excess. Remember, I already used quarter inch to stitch both sides of the satin and the lace. So that automatically will make the lining wider than it. So I trim out that quarter inch on both sides so that they are equal. And you can see that the lining is equal with the satin. And for the lining, I made it 5 inches shorter than the satin. So this totally depends on you. If you want it to be as long as the lining, as long as the satin, that's fine. But for me, I made it a bit shorter with 5 inches. So here, back to what we're talking about. Here I have my lining on the wrong side of the center back piece, of the center piece. The lining is at the back of the center piece, and this is it here. So now I'll bring in the side piece. Can you see this is our side piece? I'll bring it, placing it on the side of the center piece. Now, side piece over this center piece like this, and you can see, you see? So lace facing lace. This is what we have. So now for the lining of the side piece, I'm going to turn this over. You see? I'm going to turn this over, and then I'll place it here, lining and lining together. Can you see the side piece of the lining? This is what I'm doing. So you can see the two linings are together, the side piece and the center piece. So the center piece is the one underneath, and then here at the back here, I have the side piece, and then the center piece, which is the main lace fabric, is also down. Please take note of what I'm doing. So now I'll bring in my safety pins and pin this point. This is what we have. So now I'll take this to my sewing machine and stitch all four of them together. So by the time I'm done stitching, this is what we have. Let's open it up. You see, by the time I'm done stitching, so the lining of the side piece will go over to this side, and then we'll have it looking neat like this. Can you see? So for the second side, which is this side, I'm going to be repeating the same thing. I'll bring in the lining also. First, I'll place the lace fabric, right side of the lace facing right side here on the side. You can see that this is the hip side, so it's the middle side I'm placing over it like this. And then I'll also flip it this way. Can you see? And then bring in the lining of the side. So place the lining of the side here. So lining facing lining. Please take note of that. You want to make sure that they are all aligned also. And stitch here. I'll be stitching using my remaining seam allowance. So by the time we are done, this is what we're going to have. You can see that the side is still open. So for this part, I will access it from here and stitch it, and then flip it this way. For this side, I will access it from here and stitch it. Then I'll come back and show us what we have. Okay. So as you can see, I'm done stitching my linings, and this is what I have. This is the wrong side or the reverse side of our outfit. You see how beautiful and neat it is. I also went ahead to turn the sides of the skirt with French finishing as well. This is it here. And see, I don't have to struggle to weave anything and break my needle. Everything is looking all beautiful. This is the other side of the skirt. I have the same thing here. Everything is looking very beautiful. And this is the front of our skirt. Can you see? We have it coming out all neat and beautiful. So now we're almost done with our skirt. The next thing I'm going to do now is to take this to the sewing machine and shape it. Can see I've already drawn my sewing allowance. I don't know if you can see it. I've drawn my sewing allowance. So I'll take this to my sewing machine and stitch all the way from the waistline down to the hem. Remember I said I'll have a zipper at the side. So for this side, I'm going to have the zipper. Remember I said I'm going to have a zipper at the side of the skirt, not at the center back. So I'll have the zipper at this side. You can see I marked the point where the zipper is going to stop. And how did I get this measurement? I'm using a length from the waistline. I marked 8.5. So this is where the zipper will stop. So if I'm adding my band to it, that's from -1. And this is where our zipper will stop. So I'll start stitching from this point all the way down to the hem of the skirt. I'll leave this part open. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to fix my zipper at the side of the skirt, and then next I'm going to sew the band. And see, I already cut out the band and I folded it with my pressing iron. I'll sew the band to the waistline, fix the skirt hook, and then I'll show us the final outcome of this skirt. The final outcome of our 6 panel skirt or 6 pieces skirt. You see how beautiful the skirt looks, and see the hip, everything is sitting well. This is the knee and the down part. Can you see? And see how wide the sweep is here. And you can see that I've already sewn my zipper to the side, and I fixed my skirt hook, or the skirt hook rather. This is it. So for this skirt, now that the zipper is at the side, you can use any of the side at the front. So it doesn't really have a front or a back. So this depends on which side you want your zipper to sit. If I were the one to use this skirt, I always like my zipper to sit on the left side. So this is it. So right now we're done with our skirt, and it came out really beautiful. I enjoyed making this outfit. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something. If you did, please make sure to like this video, share this video with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.